Hello, welcome to day 5 of our work together. Today I'll be introducing yin, but I wanted to talk about how the styles support each other and how they complement each other. Yesterday we talked about the different styles that I offer, and I gave you a brief description of each and kind of a feel for the variety that we have. But I do want to talk about why I offer so many styles and why I offer so much variety and why they're all important. So I love all these practices very much, but they complement each other. They were designed to have different things for different parts of our body and different systems in our body. So we have our yang tissues, which is our muscles. We have our yin tissues, which is the connective tissue, ligaments, fascia, tendons, all the joint spaces, right? Targeting those joint spaces, bones. And so the yin yoga practice, the physical practice, targets those tissues. And we work those connective tissues in a different way than we work the yang tissues. The yang tissues are designed to move in a rhythmic way with repetition, and the yin tissues, long sustained holds, no repetition, not a lot of force, not very fast, not a lot of repetition in a rhythmic way. If we were to exercise and work yin tissues in a yang way, we could injure ourselves, and if we were to work yang tissues in a yin way, we could injure ourselves. So there are different practices designed to work different systems in our bodies. On top of that, I want to give you the very best chance of your body feeling really good and feeling really whole and complete. So these different practices that I offer all offer different components of that. They work our body in different ways. Our flow classes encourage us to find creativity and fluidity, right? And some space in our bodies helps to open. Our yin practice helps to open further and again help to work those joints and those spaces, but it also creates a more meditative approach. We slow down, we tune in, we learn how to cultivate some tools and some awareness to help some of the outside noise feel not so overwhelming, right? And to learn more about ourselves. The study of self is svadhyaya, so working into that. My more rhythmic practices with some weight, some body weight, right? Pilates, bar, yoga and strength, all of those. Our core, those are designed to really cultivate more strength in our bodies and more in our muscles. That's more working the yang tissue, right? The muscles themselves and feeling the repetition, the activation, feeling strong in our bodies. So that we're supporting our skeletal system. Our muscles support and protect the bones, right? And help it to move. We want to have sustainability and longevity in our bodies, so that helps with that. It's also fun, right? To move rhythmically, to get heart rate up. There's an element of a little bit of cardio that's beneficial for cardiovascular health. So across the board, we have all these different components of the practice, and I really encourage you to explore them. If you always take yin, wonderful, but also try something else. If you always take yoga and strength, right? If you're more of like a sculpt or a bar person, then try a flow class, try a yin class, see what happens when you incorporate the variety into your practice. It's so good for you. On top of that, I forgot to mention yesterday, we have the FRS systems with J, a little bit of there in there, the functional range systems, FRS, to help further increase mobility and protect our joints and give us, more access to range of motion, to decrease the chance of injury, to increase longevity and sustainability in our bodies and our joints, all of that. So I encourage you to explore, right? There's nothing that I offer that I don't believe in, and that isn't also a part of my practice or has been at some point in time. So everything I do offer, I offer for a reason. There's intention, there's value, there's purpose. So I encourage you to explore and see what you're drawn to, see what you're not so drawn to. And so yin today, maybe this is your jam, maybe this is a little bit like slowing down for you and that's hard for you. And I really encourage you to be in that space. Being alone with your thoughts feels like a lot. Practice it, right? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So we're going to work today a little bit into the hips, a little bit into the side body, targeting gallbladder meridian line. Yin is so important for recovery as well. It's so important to help balance out the other practices and give our bodies a chance to reset and to rejuvenate along with our minds and our souls. So I'm using a bolster and 2 blocks. Any props you might have, if you don't have a bolster, that's okay. Maybe pillow, blanket, cushions, anything like that. Grab a couple of things. Blocks can be nice too. And we're going to work off the long edge of the mat. So I encourage device towards the long edge of the mat. I will mirror you to make it easier. So to get started, move your stuff out of your way. Take your hands to the ground, feet in front of you, into this kind of like a bear sit, this wide shape with feet wider than hips, and then a windshield wipe your legs side to side, to the left and to the right, as we get settled in together. Now, start to make it a little bigger. To the right, next time go to the right, make two 90-degree angles, lift your chest up, reach towards in front of your right shin and fold over a little bit. Then press yourself back up, hands behind you, pivot, windshield wipe around to the left. Lift and fold it in. Lift and then twist and keep going side to side with your pace. Now in yin, there's no breath to movement. We're moving freely, independently of the breath. Breath is free. However, here, if you want to, inhale to lift, exhale to fold, if that makes sense to you. Do so, but really draw out the breath of so that you're not rushing. And maybe the breath, for me, the breath just wants to be free right now. I'm not moving with the breath. Start to feel into your outer hips. See if you can find this really gentle glide in your hip sockets, internal to external rotation on each side, and the deep rotators of your hips. Next time you're to the right, pause. 90-90, deer pose. Right ankle, knee, hip. Knee in front of hip, ankle in line with knee. Left knee to the side. Heel might come in a little bit closer to your left for this, for now. Let's take a little bit. It's going to be slightly in between forward and to the side. Lift your chest, twist your body a little to the right. Take an inhale. Now exhale, fold your body in. I'm going to place some blocks underneath my elbows as we fold it to the right. And I'll let you decide from here. If you want to make this more of the forward one, where you go a little more forward in front of your shins, a little bit more outer hip. And for you, that might need to be more to the right or a little bit more to the left. Or if you want to take this into the twist, I'll angle myself a little so you can see. I'm mirroring you. If you're on your right, I'm on my left, but I'll say right. Blocks to the outside of right hip is one option. I usually like to place the bolster on top of them. Lift, twist, and fold. So maybe you just want the bolster, maybe just the blocks, or blocks can be underneath your forearms, if you'd rather the twisted variation. So I'm going to let you decide, either the fold forward or the twist, or somewhere in between. So depending on where you are, if you're in the twist, it might be a little bit more left side, body, back from the hip. If you're more forward in the fold, it's going to be more outer right hip. Now soften your feet and to flex your feet. You could have your forehead or your right cheek or your left cheek to the support. And it doesn't need to be the most sensation ever. The yin practice takes a little getting used to if you're new to it, right? We kind of throw out the rules of the other practices that we're familiar with. And we change it up a little bit. I'm going to take the forward variation today. You're always welcome to slide your left knee a little further forward or a little further back. Getting myself settled in here, maybe you are too. Alright, that will change things. Your left hip does not need to be down by any means at all. If you start to feel tingling in your right foot, you might need to move your right knee over to the right more to open up the angle of your hip and take your body towards your foot a little more so as you're not compressing your femoral artery. So there are 3 tattvas to this practice. Reality of a thing. Tattva means reality of a thing. So they're kind of like guidelines. And I love the simplicity of these guidelines. They're very simple. They leave a lot of room open to interpretation, and that's kind of the point. The first one is to come into the shape to a certain depth. So the depth will vary per shape, per side, per body, per day. I may have said that already. Every day our bodies are different, feel different, right? And they are different. So I like to think of it as a one-way street. We're entering the shape and we're not leaving until we're actually exiting the shape. We're not going in and out. So you ease your way in. You come into the shape to a certain depth.
your first edge. Maybe that's a hard edge, maybe that's a soft edge, maybe it's tension that you're feeling, maybe it's compression, maybe the floor is in the way, maybe your body's in the way, right? But you find your first edge, gentle stopping point, and you pause and you wait, you don't push further. The magic of this practice really lives in the time spent in the shape as opposed to the intensity of the shape. So ease your way and take your time. Remember that it's a marathon, not a race. Not a sprint. And it's not really a race at all. Not even a marathon. That's a bad metaphor. Not a great one. It's more about the journey, right? The process as it unfolds. So we're here for the experience. We're here for the in-between. We're here for what happens when we get still and we get quiet. Keep the heaviness of your hips that you just cultivated and tapped into. Slowly reach your hands into the ground to roll yourself back up. Lean to the right. Move anything you need to out of your way. Kick your left heel out a little. Turn towards the long edge of your mat, hands behind you, and then maybe you find stillness. Maybe you choose to windshield wipe your legs. Maybe you shake it out a little bit. Let your body move and jiggle. Maybe you lift your hips up towards the sky if that's what's calling to you. Whatever feels best as a counter from that. Now, facing the long edge of your mat, bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. We have a long leg in butterfly in, which is more of a diamond shape as opposed to feet to groin, but we're going to take half butterfly. So bring your feet in closer to your groin space. Lengthen your left leg out to the side, slightly forward of your body, so a slight angle out, so naturally from your hip. You have a bolster or a block or something, place it to the inside of your left leg. Place your left elbow down on the support. I'm going to use blocks instead, I've decided. And then rest your head in your hand. You can either make a fist or you can bring the palm of your hand. Wiggle your left toes free, let them relax. If your right knee is bothering you, you can always slide some support underneath it. If your foot is not all the way in, right if it's forward, you can also sometimes aggravate the knee, so some support can be helpful. Now take your right arm up and overhead. Let your arm dangle. And take a few breaths into your right side body. So moving further into gallbladder meridian line. From ribcage down to hip, down to the floor. Traces through the outside of your thigh all the way down. The outside of your shin. Connected to anchor. Right, so when we move into outer hips, we start to get angry. That's gallbladder meridian. Now bring your right hand behind your head. Take an inhale. Exhale, rotate your body down towards the ground to the left. Inhale, open your chest, gently rotate your heart. Once again, exhale, rotate down towards the blocks or the floor. Last time, inhale to open. And exhale to rotate. So, now you have options. Maybe you take the blocks to either side of you. You might rest and support on top of it, or forearms. You can let your head drape towards your hands or the support. Maybe you choose to make it more of a side bend and you flop over like so. Maybe you choose to walk it forward between your legs a bit more. But the more you're feeling through your side body, the more gallbladder meridian, the more through your back body, the more urinary bladder meridian line, right? Feel where it feels best. Also option to bend your knee and place it down underneath for some support. You can fold that way, especially if you're having trouble finding the fold.
fold. Or if you're way far back, you can also place something underneath your seat. Or if you have sciatica or a bulging or herniated disc and you can't fold in that direction too much, you can also take it here. Give yourself some support so there's not so much folding, right? And definitely elevate your seat. So up to you where you want to be, your version of our half butterfly. Again, if right knee bothers you, prop it up a little. Let your left leg do what it's going to do. Wiggle your toes free. Try to relax through your foot. Let your head heavy if possible. Let your spine soften. So the second tattva, the second guideline reality of this practice after you come into the shape is to resolve to remain still. We move in the case of one of two things, or both. We move if our body invites us to go deeper. You've been here for a while, right? If you spend some time in it, then your body might be like, oh, there's an invitation to find a little more room, then you can pick up the slack and move further into it. We also move if there's pain in our bodies. So, sharp, burning, tingling, electrical sensations, anything along those lines. That's when you might move. To move around the pain. Come out of the shape, readjust, make an adjustment, and then come back in, back off, so that you're not in the pain range. Now, sensation or some discomfort can be different than pain. So ultimately it's going to be on you to decipher that and to navigate what is pain, what's not pain. You want to stay out of pain for sure. Because sometimes a misconception, right? No pain, no gain, but no pain, no pain is what my teacher, Bernie Clark, says. So, begs the question, what are you feeling? And part of my job is to help you learn that for yourself. Not for me to tell you where you need to be, where your leg needs to be, but for you to navigate where it needs to be for you at any given time. So here we've got water meridian line through the back of your leg, through the back of your spine, your neck, your head. Attaches from the soles of your feet up the whole back of your legs and your body through your neck into your forehead. Longest uninterrupted line of connective tissue in the body. You have your gallbladder meridian line to the side. It makes a zigzag down your leg. Breathe into that inhale. And easy exhale. Again, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Take your time, heavy into your seat. Slowly root your hands down to roll yourself back up. Take your hands behind you, lean back a little bit to release that. Maybe this feels good, maybe you lift your hips up, maybe you lengthen the right leg out and shake it out, or windshield wipe again. Maybe it's stillness, right? Move intuitively. Now, bend your knees, plant your feet, move your support probably a little to the left because that's where we're going. And then windshield wipe side to side, back to that big windshield wipe, knees 90-90. Next time you go to the left, lift, fold over your left leg. And lift right back up, hands behind you, twist to the right, rotate it around, folds. Keep going a few times side to side. So what's super cool about this practice is that it's not just about the physical, it's about all the other stuff we're doing. Even if you're not feeling a ton in something, there's not a ton of sensation, there's still a lot of benefits to the practice. We're still working on subtle body, we're working on those meridian lines. Next time you're to the left, and I have you pause and set up your 90-degree angles. Knee in front of hip, ankle in line with knee, right knee directly out from your hip to start. Heel can come in a little closer if you'd like. Lift your can decide which way you want to go. Maybe you stay here, maybe you take it forward more, maybe you even need to go a little towards your foot, or maybe you choose to take it into the twist, right? Or you might set up your blocks, and your body twisted around. Into your deer pose, front or side. You're also welcome to slide your right knee further back. You're welcome to slide your right knee further forward. Might take some finagling, and this side might be different from the other one. Okay, so no expectations from the first side. It's not fair to this side if you did the other side first if you're going to base everything on this side off the other one, right? So, let it be a new experience, new side, new shape is what I often say. If you're feeling outside of left hip, right? If you're moving towards the more forward variation, that's gallbladder meridian. If you're in the twist and you're feeling the front of your right hip, and thigh, kidney, spleen, stomach lines, kidney line through the front of your body, through your belly too. Liver line through the front of the hip. So you might be targeting kidney, liver, spleen, gallbladder, and stomach. All simply from the shape, right? So there's more to it than simply the outside layers. So the third tattva, the third reality of this practice is to hold the shape for time. So similar to the first one, it offers a lot of room open to interpretation. Just how much time, right? Time. Depends on body, day, shape, side. It varies. Usually between 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes it can be much longer. If your left foot is falling asleep, you might need to move your knee a little more to the left and body a little more to the right to create space in your hip crease. If there's tingling there. So again, you commit to the shape to a certain depth. You resolve to remain still. You hold the shape for time. And that's the practice. Those are the guidelines. Everything else happens with you, right? You decide where you go from there. Does it need to look a certain way? You let go of the aesthetic and you start to move into the functional. And how's your breath? Is it free? If not, can you free it up? And if not, make an adjustment so that you can always prioritize the freedom of your breath. Deep breath into the back of your body. And deep breath out. And again, inhale. And gentle exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Slowly root your hands into the ground and press yourself all the way up. Take your time rolling yourself back up. Lean to the left, kick your right heel out a little bit. Turn towards the long edge of your mat and windshield like your legs side to side. Or shake them out, or lift up your hips, whatever feels good to reset that. Okay, come into your butterfly. We would usually go to long-legged, but since we're moving to half butterfly, feet come in close, right leg lengthens out to the side. Grab a hold of your support, possibly blocks, bolster, whatever you might have to the inside of your right leg. Relax your right toes, wiggle them free. We'll do that again in a moment. Right elbow down to the support
we're not too active here. So when our muscles are engaged, we're not working into the connective tissue in the muscles. So again, we want to be as soft as we can most of our body, most of the time. We work to let go, to release the holding so that we can really enter the fascia. It's kind of like bags within bags if you think about an orange. And when you open the orange, there's like that white skin, right, around the peel. And then there's that, if you open up little slices of it, like a clementine, right, the little pieces, each slice. Then if you open those up, the little like packet seedlings, they have that. All of that's fascia. It's like bags within bags, casing, surrounded by other things around our organs, around our muscles, within our muscles, around the muscle spindles, right? Take your left hand behind your head, inhale. Exhale, rotate your body down towards the blocks or the ground. 2 more, inhale to open, gently peel your chest. Exhale to rotate it down. Last time, inhale to open. And exhale to rotate, release your arms down. Now, you have options. I'm going to place the blocks to either side of my right leg, make a little hedge, maybe you place a bolster on top of that. Maybe your toes turn in or turn out, let them do what they're going to do. If your left knee is bothering you, you might support it. You place something underneath your seat. If you have sciatica or bulging or herniated disc and you can't fold that way, lift your hips up, find more of a hinge, less of a round. Otherwise, let your hips get heavy, let your head get heavy. Also, option to bend your right knee, you can slide something underneath it. You can customize it, you can do something I didn't offer, right? You get to explore to figure out what works best for you. So one of the coolest parts about this practice is the customization that we get to find. And then feel us move into right side body. If you'd rather find more of the fold side, flop side, or forward, you can also do that. We'll change where it moves, so figure out the variation that you'd like to go to today. Back leg of leg, inseams of your legs, right? Spleen line. Liver. Side body, gallbladder, back body, urinary bladder. So we learn that sometimes less is more. There's often this motto in yin. If you're feeling it, you're doing it. Wiggle your right toes free to make sure they're relaxed. Now again, that doesn't mean you need to be feeling pain. You don't want to be feeling pain, but if there's sensation somewhere, you can feel something opening. Maybe you're feeling a stretch of sorts. Feeling tissue, a little bit of stress in the tissue. You're in it. Maybe there's not a ton, and that's okay too. But lean into the direction of that without chasing sensation. How can you observe it and welcome it in? And if your body invites you to go deeper, go deeper. Maybe you move a block down a different setting or something out of the way or adjust something as your body spends time here. Can you soften your shoulders, let the weight of your head assist you, let it kind of pull you down. Hips heavy in opposite direction, anchors on either end. Full breath in. And full breath out. one leg to the other leg to turn your body towards the short edge of the mat. Let's have you lie down onto your back. Knees come in towards your chest. And drop your knees over to the left into a spinal twist. So you can have both legs together, maybe one leg is straight, one leg bent. Maybe you cross your right leg over your left thigh for twisted roots. Maybe there's bolster or block between your legs or underneath your bottom knee or underneath your right shoulder. Get comfortable and settled into your version of a twist. I usually like to have my knees pretty high up towards my chest. That feels best for me. You decide what feels best for you. And let your back of your heart space settle into the ground as you unwind. You soften through the outside of your right hip. Slowly knees through the center. You wrap them up, wrap them around the other way, and then take them up and over to the right. Maybe some support, maybe the side is a little different, so the variation that you take is different. That's also fine. There's this myth that everything needs to be symmetrical left and right. It's not true. Our internal organs are not symmetrical on the inside, right? So why should our outside of our body be? We see, okay, I have two eyes, most of us, 2 ears. Things seem pretty even, but really they're not, and they're very different. And we have a dominant hand. We were really supposed to be completely even, and we'd all be ambidextrous, and we're not. Then we have these other patterns. We have the driver's side of the car, we have our writing hand, right? We have patterns of all kinds that continue to add to some imbalances, but we're not looking for symmetry. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for a sense of balance, of ease, of support right to left and left to right, that they support each other to create a symbiotic relationship. Slowly, legs come back to center. Give yourself a big squeeze, forehead to the knees. Right knee kiss, left knee kiss, and then expand all the way up to Shavasana. Maybe you slide your support underneath your knees or your calves. Would you rather have knees bent? That works too. For Shavasana, as you settle yourself in. So in these mini classes, I most definitely have not been holding Shavasana for a very long amount of time. But in the in-practice, we actually need less time in Shavasana. Because we've been working to calm nervous system this whole time. We don't need as much time in the recovery rest because we're already there. And we've been working the body in a certain way. We're slowing things down, we're calming things down. So feel how maybe it's a little bit easier to drop in, given that you've already been working on the parasympathetic nervous system, the space of the nervous system that's all about rest and digest. Notice the quality of your breath. Release any and all remaining control of that in your body and your thoughts. As you settle deeper into the ground.
lengthening. If you'd rather stay here longer, please do. Otherwise, knees come into your chest, squeeze yourself into a ball, and then rock yourself over to one side or the other. Press yourself up to a seat. Inhale, arms sweep out to reach up, palms touch at the top overhead. Exhale, hands draw down to your heart, shoulders away from your ears. Thumbs lift to the space between your eyebrows, this light and love in me. It sees and it honors the light and the love in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Welcome to the Styles of the Work.